I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Harrison Ford is kinda crazy. All actors are kinda crazy. They keep us entertained, never bored. Especially that actor named Harrison Ford. Harrison is a great actor, there is no doubt. As a kid, he was a Boy Scout. He took theater class in college to overcome his extreme shyness. He's Hollywood royalty who loves to smoke pot. You can call him Your Highness. He's a master carpenter, makes the best cabinets and doors. One of his first jobs was being a roadie for The Doors. Not only is he an actor, he's also a skilled pilot. Another actor shares his name, but his films were silent. Unlike Indiana, he actually likes snakes, not a fear factor. Ford is a reluctant leading man who always wanted to be a character actor. He was just a carpenter fixing cabinets at George Lucas's home. And right then and there, Lucas cast this unknown. And that film was the classic American Graffiti. People magazine called him the sexiest man alive. This American is dreamy. He was in Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation, a film that still holds up today. To give his character some depth, Harrison Ford picked out his own wardrobe and made him gay. Originally, George Lucas didn't want Harrison Ford in Star Wars. That was his decision. So Harrison just helped other actors audition. But Lucas couldn't find anyone. It was a no-go. So Harrison Ford was cast as Han Solo. Harrison Ford did not take Star Wars very seriously. He joked around on set. He got his ear pierced at Claire's after being inspired by Jimmy Buffett. Sometimes he improvised because he did not like the Star Wars dialogue. Once he went on Jimmy Kimmel dressed as a hot dog. In Fort's 10 from Navarone, he blew up a dam and jumped off a dam in The Fugitive. Damn. Harrison Ford just wants to have fun and be free. And he really didn't want to do the Star Wars holiday special on TV. His talent cannot be ignored. In Apocalypse Now, Ford once again worked with Francis Ford. He was in the Cowboys and Aliens Western and that Western with Gene. Sometimes Ford is friendly and sometimes he is mean. Harrison Ford is Han Solo, he was perfectly cast. While filming the Cloud City scenes, he was totally trashed. The night before, he was partying with the Rolling Stones and Monty Python. His biggest influences are Gregory Peck and Gary Cooper. Right on. Originally, George Lucas didn't want Harrison Ford to be Indiana Jones because they had already worked together so much. Harrison Ford can sure throw a punch. He hated wearing that leather jacket in the hot jungle, and a plane rolled over his knee after taking a tumble. But he just put some ice on it and carried on, because he's the man. Harrison Ford was cast as Indiana Jones only 3 weeks before shooting began. It was his idea to just shoot this guy because he had dysentery and was very sick. This made a memorable moment in that classic motion pic. Harrison was dragged behind a truck and his ribs were badly bruised. He was in Anchorman 2 and Morning Glory, both are comedies about the news. He was in an amazing film that was a box office bummer. It was Ridley Scott's sci-fi classic Blade Runner. Ford said the shoot was incredibly frustrating because of the grueling conditions and the edit kept changing. This sci-fi film features owls, robots, snakes, and Atari. Ford accidentally pushed Sean Young too hard, so he mooned her to say he was sorry. Harrison often fought with Ridley Scott. Their feud was long-lasting. Philip K. Dick was extremely pleased with Ford's casting. Once he saved a woman who drove off the highway in a car. For Return of the Jedi, he returned to that galaxy far, far. Ford always asked for Solo to die in a heroic blaze of glory. Harrison thought the character's death would improve the story. In Temple of Doom, Ford injured his back in this attempted assassination. The card game with Short Round was all improvisation. This film has monkey brains and voodoo dolls. It's got a crazy plot. Since he would be shirtless in this movie, Ford weightlifted a lot. And here is something that would be considered kinda crazy. Without warning, he ran across that rope bridge to test its safety. He thought his famous face would distract, so he turned down Schindler's List, and was nominated for an Oscar for the movie Witness. He got to show his real carpenter skills in the barn-raising scene. To prepare for the role of this cop, he joined in on raids with the Philadelphia police team. Ford says The Mosquito Coast is his all-time favorite performance. He was also in Working Girl, that comedic romance. Harrison is rich and famous, the guy's got it made. He did many of his own stunts in The Last Crusade. Ford and Sean Connery took off their pants in this scene so they wouldn't sweat. Regarding Henry is a performance that we will never forget. He plays a man who got shot and lost his memory. He must relearn to speak and gain back mobility. Ford had to let the character take control, and he met with real injured people to research the role. Harrison Ford is great without even trying. In Patriot Games, he was Jack Ryan. Harrison's career has been outlandishly lucrative. He tore a ligament in his knee while shooting a trailer for The Fugitive. Ford also damaged his leg during filming and refused surgery, so his character had a limp walk. Harrison and Tommy Lee Jones would improvise their lines when they would talk. He's a carpenter superstar, just like that Jesus baby from a manger. He did his own stunt driving in Clear and Present Danger. And then he was in Sabrina. I hear it's good, but I never saw it. It's from director Sidney Pollack. Spoiler alert, Kylo Ren is his son. He played the president in the movie Air Force One. Ford asked for real punches from Gary Oldman, and in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull he was a very old man. If you're looking for punches, Ford will give you a faceful. President Trump calls this film very inspirational. He used his real pilot skills in this film and 6 Days, 7 Nights. Bill Clinton saw Air Force One in theaters twice. He plays golf with Clinton. Together they hit the ball. Ford asked Paul Bettany to really punch him during fight scenes in Firewall. In What Lies Beneath, he worked with director Robert Zemeckis. For K-19, The Widowmaker, he was paid $25 million for 20 days of work. You gotta respect this. On the set of Hollywood Homicide, he did not get along with Josh Hartnett. You thought he was done with Indy? No, not yet. He acted alongside Mr. Shia LaBeouf, and he did his own stunts again. It was fun, rough stuff. Harrison Ford still fits into his original Indiana clothes because he stayed in great shape. He owns an 800-acre ranch and nature reserve, his personal landscape. Mr. Ford can be weird and wacky. He was in 42, that film about Jackie. Harrison Ford was in the film Ender's Game. And Harrison Ford sure can endure pain. Harrison is a force that is a total non-stopper. Expendables 3 allowed him to show off his skills with a helicopter. And once in real life, his helicopter crashed. Harrison Ford walked out without a scratch. Ford's acting is very subtle yet passionate. He broke his ankle and pelvis during a crash-landing plane accident.
Nice landing. Thanks.
He is banned from Tibet because of a film written by his ex-spouse. Harrison Ford's own hands built his ranch house. He oversaw an airlift of supplies to help out Haitians. Ford broke his ankle on the set of The Force Awakens. Harrison is the highest-grossing actor of all time, and I think you know why. The first time he ever saw Episode 7, it made him cry. The Force Awakens finally let him make Han Solo dead. Ford said Blade Runner 2049 was one of the best scripts he'd ever read. After decades, he got back into the Blade Runner groove with director Denis Villeneuve. On set, he accidentally punched Ryan Gosling's face because Gosling put his face in the wrong place. Harrison hates to rehearse, he does things on the spot, and he sure does point his finger of doom a lot. Harrison gets high and then he gets higher. In honor of him, they named a species of ant and spider. He has personally flown Special Olympics athletes to their competitions. Harrison Ford helps out with many real-life rescue missions. Harrison and his helicopter rescued a lost hiker. Yes, that's something he really did. He also searched for a lost Boy Scout and Ford found the kid. So thank you, Mr. Ford, for your contributions to this world and the business of show. We will say that we love you, and you'll respond, I know.